Ahoy there, cruisers, and welcome to another episode with Cruise with Ben and David. I'm Dora the Explorer.
And I'm SpongeBob SparePants.
SpongeBob SparePants.
What's it called?
Ahoy there, cabins. Cabins.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Ahoy there, cruisers, and welcome to another episode with Cruise with Ben and David. I'm Dora the Explorer.
And I'm SpongeBob SquarePants.
In this episode, we're going to be looking at the 5 most popular destinations to cruise in.
So whether you're new to cruising and you don't know where the heck you're going to go cruising, or you're a regular cruiser and you just want to whet your appetite, stick with us because we've got the 5 top destinations.
So number 1 would have to be Le Caribbean. Oh, who loves the Caribbean? It's the best place for sun seekers, for thrill seekers, for beach lovers, and people who just want to enjoy that beautiful Caribbean sunshine.
Yeah, the Caribbean is the most popular cruise destination in the world.
And why? I mean, you get to visit 3 or 4, even 5 or 6 different islands depending on the cruise, and that is amazing. You can wake up in a brand new country every single day and explore all of the local culture and the beach life. Oh, it's just amazing, isn't it?
While some of the ports may seem between the different stops really quite repetitive, you know, it's like the same shops, same experiences. If you actually go beyond the ports, you can get a completely different culture.
Absolutely.
And there's so much different rich in cultures in each of these islands. Yeah, so the Caribbean is a great all-rounder destination, whether you're looking for sunshine, relaxation, partying, or you're looking for something a bit more cultured, you know, bit more immersed.
Absolutely, there is definitely something for everybody. It's great for kids and families as well, with all of those great beaches. It's really safe by the port areas as well. It's a really nice place to visit. And as David said, if you want to get more locally, you want to get involved with the culture, there's loads of excursions available, really good enriching excursions available, both on the ship and by local tour operators as well. And we do recommend using local tour operators. Make sure that they're reputable companies with good reviews, because you want to be really safe whilst you're on holiday. And there's so many good things on offer in the Caribbean that we absolutely love.
So when can you cruise the Caribbean, Ben?
Well, the good thing about the Caribbean is that you can cruise year-round. The best time maybe, weather-wise, would be during the winter time in the Northern Hemisphere. So during the times of, say, after October till about May, June, because this is out of hurricane season when all of the big storms take place, and it can get a little bit too hot and sticky and humid as well. So we prefer to go during the winter time. I think that's probably the best time to go in the Caribbean.
And this is the best time when you actually see most of the ships relocate from all ports all over the world back to the Caribbean. So there'll be a lot of choice of different cruise lines around that time, which means lower prices, because all the cruise lines will be, battling against each other. So you'll find some great prices for sailing out of the Caribbean. The main port for cruises to the Caribbean is from Miami, which is the cruise capital of the world.
Yes, and just up the road you've got Fort Lauderdale, and you've also got Port Canaveral as well by Orlando. You can also find Caribbean cruises that leave from Galveston, or you've got the New Orleans as well, or even Boston and New York as well. Usually do cruises to the Bermuda Islands and then down to the Caribbean as well. So there's plenty on offer, as well as some positioning cruises which you can get a real bargain on. So you can start off in the Caribbean and go all the way across to Europe, or start in Europe and go all the way through to the Caribbean, and they're usually really good value.
And it's not just the US lines that sail the Caribbean. During the winter months, you'll see cruise lines such as P&O Cruises offering fly cruise packages from the UK, so it's a one price for the flight and the cruise. And other European cruises such as MSC, AIDA, Costa. Pretty much every cruise line will spend at least some time in the Caribbean.
Absolutely. During the winter, it's a really busy place, and it's such a great destination. We really recommend it.
Okay, so next up is, in our backyard, a little bit closer to us, is the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean is great, again, for sun seekers, but really as well for culture lovers, because you're going to get to see so many different cultures in such a short space of time.
Yeah, and unlike the Caribbean, you'll be going to completely different places. So one day you'll be in Spain, the next day you could be in France, and then Italy and Greece. So you're going to get to see some amazing places and tick loads of places off your bucket list at the same time. It's a really good place to cruise, and it's really family friendly as well.
Yeah, in the summer months is the most popular time for the Mediterranean, and this is when you'll see most cruise lines in the area, so you'll see some great prices. But there are cruise lines that offer all year round cruises, such as MSC and Costa. In the winter months, while the weather may be a little bit more unpredictable, it's going to be a lot cooler, but the sights are just as impressive.
Actually, yeah, it can be actually a little bit easier doing the Mediterranean in the winter, especially if you want to soak up all of that local culture and do loads of walking and exploring, because it can get very, very hot during the summer months. Tend to be from around May till October. This is when it's going to be really hot, and it's great for sunbathing and enjoying all of the local beaches and things, isn't it?
And as you just touched on there, the Mediterranean itineraries are very port intensive, so they can be really tiring.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing it in the winter mainly, don't we? Because you get nice mild weather, but you can walk around and really explore without being a little bit too uncomfortable and getting really tired. So some of the biggest ports where cruises start off in the Mediterranean are, the main one is probably Barcelona and Rome, followed by Southampton in the UK.
With Mediterranean ports, what they advertise as, for example, Rome, may be quite a distance away. So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking at Mediterranean itineraries.
Absolutely, yes. Southampton is sometimes claimed to be London, but it's actually a 2-hour drive from London. So make sure you research all of the different ports you're going to. Our next area of interest is Northern Europe, so mainly the Norwegian Fjords and the Baltics. And oh my gosh, guys, this offers an absolute amazing holiday of a lifetime. It's especially good for those photographers and nature lovers and those who want to see beautiful and spectacular scenery. It's a little bit like Alaska in the Norwegian Fjords. You've got amazing mountains and beautiful. In the summer, you've got the midnight sun, so the sun never goes down. And in the winter, you've got the northern lights offering spectacular views of scenery and wildlife. It's such an amazing place to go.
And in the Baltic, the ports are vastly different from each other, so just a short journey away, you could be in a completely different culture. Most cruises offer 2 nights in St. Petersburg as well. These itineraries, again, are quite port intensive around the Baltic, and the weather is very unpredictable, but you're going to be seeing some amazing cultures and amazing sights.
Absolutely. Most Norwegian Fjord cruises either leave from Copenhagen or the UK, so we've got Southampton. And same with the Baltic cruises as well. They would normally start from the UK or Copenhagen. And as David said, you get to see some amazing countries and soak up the culture. On our last Baltic cruise, we got to visit Germany, we got to visit Estonia, St. Petersburg, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. It was such a fantastic cruise, and we came away feeling like we've ticked off so many different places that we really wanted to visit. It's a fantastic place to visit.
And a Norwegian Fjord cruise offers some unparalleled sailing and some relaxing cruising. We do recommend that you look at a smaller ship that will be able to get in between all the different fjords and offer some more scenic cruising. But there is larger ships that do visit the fjords, and these do offer a more attractive price point than maybe some of the smaller ships.
Yeah.
So don't let that deter you, that the views are just as spectacular from a big ship as well.
Yeah, we just recently sailed with the Viking Sea and had the most amazing time. Check out our vlogs and our ship tour as well of that ship. We had the most amazing time. It was a midnight sun cruise, so we were up at midnight on deck watching the sun still going down. It was just honestly spectacular, and it seriously wasn't somewhere that really appealed to us, but once we've been once, we're desperate to go back again, so definitely don't count it out. It's such a beautiful place.
Obviously, the summer is a lot more popular for visiting Northern Europe just because the weather is a lot more milder, and you see a lot more choice from a lot of different cruise lines, or the different ones visiting the area. So our next big cruise destination is Australia and New Zealand. Is becoming increasingly more and more popular every single year. I mean, this is just shown by some of the biggest ships in the world visiting. So
Absolutely.
Majestic and Ovation.
And there's now a huge array of different itineraries as well. Several itineraries just involving Australia and New Zealand themselves, so touring both of the islands. And other ones that go further out into the beautiful Pacific Islands, where you can go see some of the most beautiful preserved islands in the world. So there's a massive, fantastic array of different cruises there available. These cruises take in really picturesque ports and places that you're going to be visiting. So you've got beautiful fjords and sounds, as well as bustling cities as well. So it's such a varied cruise. So you get both the city life and the amazing spectacular scenery as well. So it's great for nature lovers and people who want to explore a region that they haven't explored before.
While cruises to the Pacific Islands include some fantastic reefs and unparalleled natural beaches, most of the cruise lines depart from Sydney, and all the big cruise lines do offer cruises at some point during the year. The biggest cruise line in the region is P&O Australia, which really does cater to the Australian market.
Which is Princess, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, they all have cruises there as well. The most popular time to cruise here is in fact our winter, which will be Australia and New Zealand summer. So during the months of October till about May time, this will be the best time for the weather to visit there and when most cruises take place.
There's a real wide array of different length itineraries too, from short 2 to 3 night cruises right up to 2-week voyages round tripping to New Zealand.
And finally, for our 5th place, we would say Alaska. This is one of the most spectacular places on Earth. Cruises here usually start off in Vancouver in Canada or Seattle and explore several different ports in the Alaskan region.
While the ports are not really the main star here, what is the scenic cruising and also the glaciers and nature watching as well, looking out for nature. The cruises are obviously during the summer months, and all the big cruise lines do offer cruises up in the region.
Yeah, there's a massive selection of cruises. Most cruise lines here, Norwegian, Princess, Royal, just all of the same ones again, all offer cruises here, as well as Disney as well offers some amazing Alaskan cruises.
Time in port is short and the ports are relatively small, and excursions can be quite expensive, but the most popular excursions are dog sledding and also helicopter rides.
Wow, sounds amazing. So you're not visiting Alaska for the weather, obviously. Even during the summer months, you might get some really nice days, but it is often quite rainy and quite cloudy as well. You're going for the spectacular scenery and for the nature as well. It's just one of the most wonderful places on Earth, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a great place to take your camera, so make sure you've got a decent camera with a nice long lens to see if you can catch any of them amazing nature sights. So they're just a few of the top cruise destinations around the world. There is so many to choose from that we didn't mention here. We might squeeze them into another video in the future.
Yeah, let us know what your favourite destination is in the comments below and tell us why you like it as well. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.
You can also follow our adventures around the world on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Like magic, the handles are on the screen right now.
That's it. Till next time, happy cruising!